crashing out the sky, falling one by one.
What's going on? Sean here, back at it again. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the greatest business minds in his 5 steps to success.
Nerf this!
So right now, I want you to think of the best business minds that you know. You probably thought of Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. Now there's one in particular that really sticks out to me personally because I like his style, and also he's more in line on what type of business that I'm into and that I want to continue to grow, and that is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a billionaire. He's one of the greatest business minds of our generation. So when he speaks, the world should really listen. And today I have 5 tips from him on how you can be successful. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So I won't waste your time. Get right into number 1. Number 1 is to read. Now, if you know most successful people, they mostly read. If they don't read, it's very rare. And even if they don't read, they always learn in some way or fashion. Maybe it's an audiobook, maybe it's just by taking on different tasks and actually physically doing them. And that's the small disclaimer I want to put on number 1, is that you can have all the knowledge in the world, and I know this is Warren Buffett saying this, but you'll see a little later on why he says to challenge other people's thinking. Anyway, when you read, you will acquire knowledge, but it is more than just learning things. If you can learn everything in the world, but if you don't act, if you don't do anything, all that knowledge is for naught. Knowledge is not power. The application of that knowledge is power. So that's number 1. Read, read, read. And right now I gotta go to Rhode Island. Lily actually had ordered my groomsmen their gifts for me, and they had gotten sent to our rental unit in Rhode Island. So I'm on my way down there. I'm gonna stop and see my sister and my mom real quick because I'll be in the area. And that's about it for today, as far as I can think of, but I may have some other errands to do. I'm not sure, but I'm already running behind. Let's get moving. So it's Memorial Day weekend. I'm stuck at this light. Got an iced coffee because I'm dragging ass. I didn't go to sleep till like 5 and I woke up around 9, so it's only 4 hours of sleep. And sometimes it'd be like that. I went with the cheap coffee because, you know, obviously the wedding is right around the corner next weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend right now, and yeah, that's why I needed to get a coffee. But that being said, don't always sacrifice your sleep. Will there be times when you need to sacrifice your sleep? Yes, of course. Just don't make it a routine habit. And even the best athletes in the world need to rest and recover. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to grind 24/7, 365. All right, you gotta rest at some times. All right, that's not on Warren Buffett's list, but I just want to put that little tidbit in there. So I guess that's a Sean Lunny bonus tip, baby. Let's keep it rolling.
There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without you.
So it's always pretty bittersweet coming back to Rhode Island because I always tell Lily I feel like this is where the rest of our lives started. So I got the groomsmen's gifts. That's all set. They're in the car. But that brings me to point number 2, and it's kind of piggybacking off number 1 when I was talking about thinking independently, because that is number 2, to think for yourself. So you can't always accept someone's ideas. You have to process what they're telling you and decide if you want to accept that. Now, whether that's going based upon your own beliefs or actually doing the research, I suggest doing the research on what you're being told. And especially if it's coming from a well-known source, like let's just say you're getting investing advice from Warren Buffett. Obviously you're going to trust him, but you always want to verify. Trust, but verify, because he is a credible source. And same with me. Anything that I say in any of my videos, feel free to research for yourselves. I've been studying this material for almost 15 years now, so definitely want to always think independently, think for yourself, have an opinion, and don't always just accept an idea that someone gives you just because that's what you've always done, or that's the way it is, or they're a so-called expert. So make sure you think independently, think for yourself, and again, trust but verify. So I got a long ride home. Lily's phone all of a sudden turned off on her and would not turn back on, so really random. So she's at the store doing that right now. I gotta drive all the way back up. There's probably gonna be a lot of traffic because a lot of people go to the Cape this weekend. It's like the first weekend of summer, and we live off a major route that goes directly to the Cape. So I'm just curious how that's gonna be. But anyway, let me hit the road. Let's go.
Change on.
So we're back at the house. Now is as good a time as any to give you number 3, which is competition. You always want to be competing, and here's why. Life is a game. We keep score in various ways. And if you're not trying to be the very best at whatever it is you do, what is the point? Competition is super healthy. Now, with that being said, I don't want you to get confused and think that you always have to go and try to outperform someone else or always compare yourself to another person. Don't get caught up in that. There's a big difference. You want to be in competition with yourself. You want to improve upon where you are right now and where you are 1 year from now, and after that, and after that. I hope that makes sense. You want to become the best version of yourself and be the best at what you're doing. Go and win and be the best at whatever you do. Lily got home from getting her shoes and so forth, and went to her uncle's, so I think we're gonna head over there, and I will catch up with you after. So it is currently Sunday. I forgot to finish this video yesterday. I got tied up with family and so forth. Cookout, as you can imagine, on this beautiful Memorial Day weekend. Tomorrow is actually Memorial Day. So before I give you point number 4, tip 4 from Warren Buffett, I just want to say, if you've served in the military, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. And if you haven't served, just take a minute out of your day, especially tomorrow, to recognize and remember those who have fallen fighting for our freedoms. There's my little spiel on Memorial Day, if you're in the United States, of course. That being said, point number 4 is to not dwell on your mistakes. And it's a lot easier said than done, especially when you get obsessed and passionate about something and you're trying your best to be the best at it. You obviously want to learn from the mistakes that you made, and you want to apply what you've learned to better yourself next time the same situation comes around. But with that being said, you can't obsess over the mistake that you've made. As long as you learn from it and don't repeat it, you've taken something and put some value behind it. So let's say you're baking a cake and you forgot to put the correct amount of butter in. Instead of 1 tablespoon, it called for 2. You put in 1, the cake doesn't taste right. Next time, as long as you put 2 tablespoons of butter in, that cake's gonna come out right. So you've applied what you've learned. You didn't dwell, you didn't say, oh, I'm never baking a cake again, forget it, baking's not for me. You've applied what you've learned, and you've bettered your baking skills. So 4, don't dwell on your mistakes and learn from them. I am waiting for Lily. We have to go to the store because she has to fix her phone. Her phone just randomly shut down on her. If I didn't mention that yesterday, it happened. She got it fixed and it's having issues again, but it's more on the carrier side, not the actual Apple product side. Let's keep it rolling.
Change your
So, got back from Sprint, they hooked it up, they took care of Lily, everything's finally back to normal with her phone. Thank God for that. But that brings me to my fifth and final point on Warren Buffett's tips to success, and that is to not care what other people think. Easier said than done, but if you are constantly worried about other people's opinions of you and what you're doing, that's always going to hold you back from what you truly want to do. If you worry about what a member of your family says, or what your friend says, or even a total stranger, you can't let their limitations be set upon you. So if they think that something's not possible for them, don't let them impress it upon you. And if you're out there hustling and trying to make it happen, don't allow yourself to, again, be held back by thinking that they're thinking that you're stupid, because chances are they're probably not even worried about you. And if they are, they're going to talk either way. They're going to talk whether you go out and do it or whether you don't. So either way, they're going to have something to say. So the best thing to do is just not worry about it and do you. So I hope that makes sense. If you need a little refresher, I'm going to put everything right here. Warren Buffett's 5 tips for success. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Sean. I do release videos every Monday to get your week going and every Friday to get your weekend started. I also do release bonus videos at random, so make sure you got the post notifications turned on so you won't miss a thing. I appreciate all your support. I'll catch you next time. Signing off.